Hi everyone, and welcome to session 2 for Learning English at the Florrie, the class for beginners. So just a reminder, for these sessions it's really helpful to have your translator, and it's also really helpful you can follow the top tip for translate, write them down and say them out loud. Okay, so we're just going to briefly recap what we looked at in our first session. So we were looking at our basic introductions. Hello, my name is, I come from, what's your name, where are you from? We also looked at the pronunciation in terms of the letters of the alphabet, and I advised you there is a sheet you can access to practice how you actually scribe each letter. And we had to go at an activity where I picked 4 letters and we had to go at writing down some words beginning with each letter, and I asked you to go away to translate them and learn them. And as promised, we will be picking 4 more letters from the alphabet today and going over those words. And it is really beneficial each week if you can go through the alphabet and pick 4 words each week, or a couple more if you want to, and just go through practicing how to say the words, what the words mean, and perhaps start looking at putting them into a sentence. And we finished last week by just looking at basic greetings in terms of how we greet someone by saying hello and saying goodbye. And we looked at some other phrases for introducing ourselves and for greeting people. So we looked at hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and then we finished by looking at phrases we can use when we're leaving someone. So as promised, what we're going to do, we're going to pick 4 more letters from the alphabet today, and I have picked B, B, D, D, H, H, or M, M. Okay, so let's see how many words you can come up with beginning with B, D, H, and M. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do that, and then I'll show you some of the words that I use. Off you go. Okay, if you want to pause this video, you can while you're continuing with that. But I'm going to move on now and show you some of the words I've come up with. Okay, so I've come up with baby. Okay, so a young child, a baby. Beautiful is something really nice and stunning. Big if something's big. So don't forget, you should have your translator open while we're doing this so you can actually translate these words, write them down, say them out loud. That's our top tip. Dad, so also known as father. Different, dangerous, happy, holiday, house, mother, make, many. So there's 4 letters that I've picked from the alphabet. I asked you to try and come up with as many words as you can for each of those letters, and I've just given you a selection of words that I quickly come up with there. So each week we're building up our knowledge of different words based on letters of the alphabet. Okay, so pause the video by all means and Google Translate those words. Okay, write them down, say them out loud. So that's our starter, and what we're going to move on to now, very briefly, moving on from hello, my name is, hi, good morning, goodbye. We're just going to look at when we ask things. Really, it's basic manners, I like to say. So it's polite to say please when we ask for something. Okay, so this is really what we call good etiquette, and that means we're being polite. Okay, so instead of going, do you have the time? It'd be polite to say, hello, do you have the time, please? Okay, or please, can you tell me what number bus I need to get to this place? Okay, it's also polite to say thank you when we are given something or someone's done something for us. So please, when you want something, or you need something, and thank you. So if someone, you know, hold open the door for you, you would say thank you. If you ask someone the time, so do you have the time, please? And then someone tells you, you might say, oh, thank you very much for that. Okay, so they're your two main things, please and thank you, are very basic, but very important, okay? So some more polite expressions we can use. You know, you might do something, you might perhaps upset someone a little bit. You might say, oh, I'm sorry about that, okay? If someone does something and they upset you, perhaps, you might go, oh, it's okay, it's okay. And you don't just have to say, you know, thank you. You could say, thanks, thank you very much. And if someone actually does, you know, if you do something for someone and they say thank you, it's really polite for you to say, oh, you're welcome, okay? So let's just recap there. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to upset you, didn't mean to bump into you. Okay, someone might say, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. Then you might say, oh, thanks very much for that. And then someone might reply to you, oh, you're welcome. So what would be really beneficial for you is to maybe practice, if someone's at home, or you can actually do it with yourself, and practice a bit of role play practice, speaking these sentences to each other, okay? Or sorry, I'm late, I didn't realise what time it was. It's okay, don't worry. Oh, thanks very much. Don't worry about it, you're welcome. Okay, so let's just recap again. When we ask for something, please. When we receive something, thank you. And here's a couple of more polite phrases there. So obviously at any point you can rewind your video, it's on YouTube, so you can go back and access it that way. So these are just some really useful, brief, nice, easy, polite phrases. And you know, you'll find people will help you a lot more. A simple please, a simple thank you. Okay. So this next bit's really important. Okay, these are just 5 basic phrases that it would be really good for you right now, if you have your translator, okay, to translate these phrases. And I'm going to talk nice and slow as I talk about these phrases to you. If, you know, obviously these sessions are for people who are brand new to English. You might have very basic English, and the world can be quite a scary place when we don't know too much, you know, the language that we need, or the phrases or the words that we need. So I think these 5 phrases as a minimum are quite good to help you with that. So if someone's telling you something or you just don't understand it, first phrase is, what does this mean? You're asking a question, you're asking someone to explain something to you. So I want you to translate that, write it down and say it out loud. If someone tells you something, so perhaps if you're going to the doctors, or you're trying to arrange an appointment, or you know, perhaps you've been for a meeting, and if someone's speaking to you and you don't understand, you must say to them, I don't understand. Okay, please can you tell me this again? Okay, so I don't understand. That will let someone know, this phrase here, that they need to tell you again. This is a really useful phrase. I don't understand much English. Once you hear a phrase like that, you know that you need to change the way you might speak to someone, perhaps, or it might be the pace in which someone speaks to you, or the words that they use. When you are speaking to someone, if they're maybe talking really fast, and I have a really bad tendency to talk fast, I'm purposely for this trying to slow down, you might say to someone, can you speak more slowly, please? And you'll notice here, we're asking someone something, so we've linked back to this, haven't we? And we've said please because it's polite. If someone says something to you and you understand some of it, but you might just want a little bit repeated. So if you repeat something, it means you want to hear it again. So could you repeat that, please? So I call this section, how can we ask for help? Okay, so there's 5 short, snappy phrases that should, you know, really help you if you're in a position where you're just not sure what someone's saying. So pause the video, translate the phrases, write them down, say them out loud, and it'd be really helpful for you. All these phrases we've looked at, okay, so far today, learn them, please. Thank you. It's okay, you're welcome. and the 5 phrases there. Really helpful phrases. Okay. So just to finish off with this session, what I've done is I've just picked a range of words or phrases that we've looked at over the last 2 lessons. So hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, fine, please, nice to meet you, thank you, bye, you're welcome. I had another one there. Oh, don't mention it. So, you know, if you do something for someone and they're really grateful, you might say, oh, don't worry about it. Thanks, sorry, that's okay, excuse me, goodbye, good night, see you later. So I've actually added a couple of extra ones in there. So nice to meet you here. When you're introduced to someone, you might shake the hand, well, pre-coronavirus, you might shake the hand and say, hi, nice to meet you, my name is. So we're linking in back to that first lesson again, aren't we? Okay. So what I'm going to do, I've literally done a screenshot so you can, it's a word search basically. So you have a look on there, okay, and see if you can find these phrases, okay? So don't forget, I'll leave that on, but you can rewind the video if you get stuck. So basically on this word search, that's pretty much a range of the words and phrases we've looked at over the last 2 sessions you'll find here, okay? So I'm going to leave that on for you for a few minutes, and this is just a really good way to end this session, because it's bringing together the skills and it's allowing you to go back and dig deep to try and remember those phrases, because the more we go back and revisit something, the more likely it is you are to remember it. Okay, so I'm going to leave this on, and then next week what we're going to do, we're going to look at days of the week, and we're going to look at months of the year, numbers, and telling the time. Okay, so enjoy. Don't forget you can rewind to look at those phrases, and I'll see you next time, guys. Okay.